It's the first TBR of the new year. Hi, my name is Jeanette, and I want to thank you for joining me on the channel Jane Reads. So, I am introducing my new TBR game. So, I have taken the board game Bonkers. I don't know if you know this growing up. I am not aware of this game growing up until I met my husband. It was one of his favorite games growing up, apparently, as a kid. And when I was coming up with TBR games, I kind of was trying to figure out what I wanted. I knew there was a couple things I wanted and did not want. I wanted a board game. And I thought, well, what's better than using an already printed board? One I don't have to completely make from scratch because I'm not that artistic. Or I don't feel artistic. Give me Canva, graphics, that kind of stuff, I can do that. But to draw on paper, not happening. So, if you don't know the game of Bonkers, it comes with just regular dice. Does it come with regular dice? Now I'm wondering. Yes, it does. I'm like, it's been a while since we've actually played it for real. Let me open the box. Okay, so it comes with regular dice, and your whole point is to get 12 points by moving around the board, and you earn points different ways. But each time, I don't know how well you can see that, you'll see it when I do the overhead view, as I hold it upside down. You'll see it when I do the overhead view, but there's spots. So each time you roll the dice, you land on a spot, and then you have cards, and you get to place those cards. So you have a certain number of cards, you move back 12, or move forward 12, move back 4, move back 5, different cards like that. So, and then they stay on the board as you go around with your team, not with your teammates, you're playing against people. See, as I said, it's been a while since I played. And then you're trying to get points. And the first person to 12 points wins the game. But sometimes, depending, you're moving back 3, you're moving forward, you're moving away from the point spot, and sometimes you get trapped. And there's some cards that say lose a point or lose a turn or different things. Okay, so that is the very basics of it. I'm did I hold it upside down again? No, I did not. So that is the board itself. So down here is the little start, and then you work your way around the board. And this is going to be my end spot. So I'm going to work my way all around the board. Okay, there is one spot here that says lose. Am I holding it the right way? That says lose. On that spot, if I land on that spot, it is going to be a challenge spot. And for me this year, that means I need to choose a John Grisham book to read. Basically, one of my goals in my head, not on my goal list, is to make a decision on my John Grisham books, because I have 25 of those books, and it's am I going to keep them, or are they going off my shelf? And I would like to give a few a reread to find out kind of what's my feelings now, because I read them 20 years ago. So that is the lose spot. Each time I land there, I have to read a John Grisham book. I have to choose a John Grisham book. And there's these 2 white spots here that say go to lose. So if I land on those, I automatically have to go here. Okay, then there are 2 spots. Yes. There are 2 spots that say score complete. There and way over here. Those ones are free choice for me. I can pick whatever I want. And then the very last spot, which is also a score complete spot, is I must choose a book on my TBR bingo board. So I will be reading at least 12 books from my TBR bingo board this year. I hope to complete the board, but this way I'm reading one a month, for sure. The other thing that I did not want when I was creating the board is I didn't want the spots to be the exact same thing. So for the ones I've kind of seen, Monopoly, for example, you land on a certain spot and it's a certain prompt. Every single time it's the same prompt depending on the spot. And I didn't want the spots to be the same prompt. because that kind of gets boring after a while, in my opinion. And so I wanted to be mixed up. So instead, I've created these little prompt cards. And so they each say different things on them. And they will get shuffled and placed on the board, and then there will be the stack of extra prompts. So I don't remember how many spots are on the board for these to go on, but I do know I have more than what's spots on the board, so I will have some that sit off to the side. Okay, so in this stack I have 52 regular prompts, so those could be male author, a female author, that's funny that that's the one that chose, 4+ words in the title, a 5-star prediction. You can't see any of that, right? No. So, okay, so I have 52 of those prompts, which is 65% of the prompts that are here. Then I have 8 prompts that say BFF something. So, I thought I just saw one. Like, BFF's favorite author. BFF picks a contemporary. BFF picks a romance, something like that. Of course, I can't find them when I'm looking for them. So 10% of the prompts are that. Then I have forward back prompts. So I, just like from the game, I have forward 3, forward 4, forward 10, and then some say back. Back 10. So there are 20 of those, so 20% of them. So I have a total of 80 prompts here. As I said, I don't remember how many spots are on the board, but we'll see. The colors themselves do not mean anything. You will see that I have different colors: green, yellow, blue, and pink. They don't mean anything at all. It's just I was using up cardstock that I had. I do have each type of, so the 3 different types of prompts evenly divided between the 4, so that I have no idea if I draw like a pink, it could be a forward back, it could be a regular prompt, it could be a BFF prompt. I don't know. So the colors don't mean anything. Okay, so what I'm going to do, and we'll take you over to the board in a second, what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix up the prompts and then lay them all out on the board, and then we'll start moving. But, so the regular Bonkers game comes with regular 6-sided dice. When I did a test run to see how many books I could get going through, my numbers were good, and then they were really bad. And I'm like, my last TBR game for 2023 and 2022, I would pick 6 books, and then I could choose any other books that I read that month. And I would average between 8 and 10 books, depending on a month. So 6 was a nice number for me. I think there was a couple months in 2023, I only read 6 or 7 books. So it was like, when I was averaging 8, 9, I got 5 on a good test run, right? So I was like, okay, I don't want to use regular 6-sided dice because that might be too many books for me to handle. And I don't like the idea of not finishing a TBR. So I thought, what can I do instead? I didn't think I had any fancy dice, like an 8-sided, 9-sided, those kind of dice. So I was like looking at our game selection, I'm like, oh, we have phase 10 dice. So in phase 10, in the dice version, there is one dice that has the numbers 5 to 10. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, okay, on the dice. So there's 5 of these in the phase 10 set, and then there's 5 dice that have like a wild, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, it only goes up to 4. So I thought, okay, I'll take one of the high number dice and one of the low number dice and roll these 2 together. So the lowest number I can get, there's no wild on this one, right? Yes. So the lowest number I can get is a 5, because I'm going to count the wild as nothing. It doesn't count. So if I roll like a 5 and a wild, I have to move 5 spots. But the highest number I can get is 14. Okay, does that make sense? Hopefully, once we start playing, it will make sense to you. I am starting this game from scratch, so I'm not going to talk about what was on my December TBR, and I will do that in my December wrap-up that will be coming. For now, we are starting a whole brand new with this game. And just like previously, when I was playing Katie's Around the World, I'm going to use like my miniature little bus to move because it fits very nicely in these little squares. Very nicely. It's almost like it was made for it. Okay, so we're just going to set up the board. So we're going to mix up these guys. So it's just going to be very random and start laying them out. Okay, so where's my guy? Can you see him? Okay, so we're gonna roll, and we got an 11. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so the very first prompt is a 5 a 5+ word title. The first prompt I got is a 5+ word title. So I have chosen 2 very different books. Got to decide between one of them. I chose this one because it is the start of a series, which is my prompt in my reading challenge. It's also a series I would like to complete, like to read through this year. I've never read book 3, and I need to refresh myself with book 1 and 2. So when I'm counting the title, The Saturday Night Supper Club, and it's by Carlo Lorando, and it's a 5-word title. Whereas this one is The Cross-Examination of Jesus Christ by Randy Singer. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the prompt is a 5+ word title. And most of the books I have are 5. So I was like, okay, well, if I read this one, it's a 5+. So it's really fitting the prompt better. It is a nonfiction, but it is on my rereads bingo board. So I can't believe I'm doing this, but I'm going to choose a nonfiction for my very first book. Wow, what a way to start the new year. New Jeanette for the year? No, I don't think so. Okay, so yes, I'm going to read this one. It is only 200 pages, so it is shorter. Hopefully it's a fairly simple read. I can understand it. We'll see. So that is going to be book number 1. Okay, so let's go back to the game board to find out for the next book. A 9 and a 2, so another 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And it is a male author. I just picked a male author. The next prompt was a male author. And I have decided to go with Jimmy by Robert Whitlow. This is another reread for me that is on my rereads bingo board. I'm going to start out the year well with completing some prompts on this bingo board. And because I will tell you, I didn't complete the bingo board for this year, so 2 books right away, that's awesome. I remember really loving this book. It does look like a chunker, but I mean, it is the pocket book size rather than a full size. Once you look at the world through Jimmy's eyes, you'll never see it the same again. Jimmy's world is a place where a boy can grow into be a man, even if he's special, where angels hover, mostly unseen, where danger can happen and hearts can falter, but love is never wasted. And I remember really enjoying it, but I don't remember anything about it. So this will be the one that I will reread. Okay, so let's get back to the board and see what the next prompt will be. Okay, we're back. Another 11. Wow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Back to. Do you know what that takes us to? The dreaded lose a turn already. Okay, so want to lose a turn, which means it has to be a John Grisham book. So we're going for a third male author in a row. I don't, like, other than Robert Whitlow, I don't think I've read a male author for a while. Any other male author. Okay, so I have chosen to read The Testament by John Grisham. This is another book that is on my rereads bingo board progress. And it is the one John Grisham that's kind of at the top of my list that I really want to reread, and because I don't remember anything about it, and I've heard Oshina praise it, so I'm like, okay. So this is going to be, you can't even see like the rest of that title there. So it says, in a plush Virginia office, a rich, angry old man is furiously rewriting his will, with his death just hours away. Troy wants to send a message to his children, his ex-wives, and his minions, a message that will touch off a vicious legal battle and transform dozens of lives. Because Troy's new will names a sole surprise heir to his $11 billion fortune, a mysterious woman named Rachel Lane, a missionary living deep in the jungles of Brazil. I'm not going to read the rest of the back, but yes, this will be book number 3. Okay, let's go back to the board and see what happens. Okay, let's roll again. I feel like these dice are fixed on 11. Random letter generator for a title. I got a random letter generator for the title of the book. So, my wheels are back. So, I'm going to spin my random letter wheel and figure out what letter I need to look for. Don't be something weird. Why? Why? Okay, I can't think of anything offhand. Oh! I said I couldn't think of anything offhand. I did. Why could I not think of that offhand? Yours truly, Thomas, by Rachel Fordham. If you saw my book haul, that was just posted, I will link it in the description. You saw that I got this book, and I'm so excited about reading this book. Now, I was told that I should read Rachel's books in the order of publication, but just for consistency, maybe. I don't remember what they said, why they said that, because they're not series, they don't carry on, but they have read them in order, and it makes sort of sense. And I had planned on that. However, I'm breaking that because why? Yours truly, Thomas. So this one is Dead Ends are a reality check for clerks at the dead letter office, and she dreams of something more, a bit of intrigue, perhaps a taste of romance. When she comes across a letter from a broken-hearted man to his one true love, it becomes her mission to place this letter into the hands of its intended recipient. But when Penny's undertaking leads her to an intriguing man who touched her soul with his words, everything grows more complicated. She wants to find the rightful owner of the letter, and yet she finds herself caring, perhaps too much, for the one who wrote it. Features letters, and the idea of a dead letter office. I love that. So, yeah, I'm so excited. I'm so glad. Okay, so that is book number 4. Okay, we're back to the board. Is this going to be my last roll? Am I going to get another 11? We'll find out. Okay. A 5. It's not an 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, we're going forward 10 spots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We are at the end. Okay, so we made it to the end spot. We first rolled a 5, landed on forward 10, and then 10 took us to the end because the end was only 8 spots away. Nice. But now the end is I have to read a book from my TBR bingo board. So back to the wheels we go to find out what book the wheel is going to choose me from that bingo board. All Right Here. Okay, All Right Here is by Carre Armstrong Gardner, and it is a book that my BFF Christine chose and put on my bingo board, but thankfully it is book 1 of a series. Thank you. So it is, it doesn't say. So the family you want isn't always the family you need. Ivy Darlin can't have children of her own, and her husband Nick's resentment is forcing them apart. And while Ivy has the support and love of her large, close-knit family, Nick's family has never welcomed her into the fold. When the 3 children next door are abandoned by their mother, Ivy and Nick take them in for the night. One night becomes several, and suddenly Ivy and Nick find themselves foster parents to the only African-American kids in the town of Copper Cove, Maine. As Ivy grows more attached to the children, Nick refuses to accept their eccentric household as a permanent family. Just as Ivy begins to question whether or not she wants to save her emotionally broken marriage, Nick begins to discover how much Ivy and the children mean to him. But is his change of heart too little, too late? And I love the cover, which is really the reason I picked this up. But yeah. So those are the 5 books that my game has chosen for me for the month of January. So the first one was a 5+ title. I chose The Cross-Examination of Jesus Christ by Randy Singer. Then I got a male author, so I chose Jimmy by Robert Whitlow. Then I landed on the lose spot, which meant I had to read a John Grisham, so I chose The Testament by John Grisham. Then I landed on the random letter generator for the title. When I spun, I got a Y, so I chose Yours Truly, Thomas by Rachel Fordham. And then I made it to the end, which was my TBR bingo board. The wheel spun, and it chose All Right Here by Carre Armstrong Gardner. So those are the 5 books, and none of them are series. Wow. None of them are romantic suspense either. But that's okay. So it was fairly nice to me this time around. We'll see what happens next month when I play. Will I get 5 books again, or will I get more? Most likely more. I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this video today, and I hope you enjoyed watching me play my new version of my TBR game, TBR Bonkers, and please come back again in the future for another video. I will play this game again at the end of January to choose my books for February, and we'll find out, am I going to get 5 books again, or will I get more? I don't know, because when I did the test run, I did a few test runs and I got more books than 5. So it started out really nice to me for January. I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this video today, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.